I'm back. I know why I'm back. I don't know why you're back. I don't know how entertaining this is, but I'm enjoying it. So I'm back. Thanks to Mr. Marty Music and an acoustic guitar that my parents bought for me when I was 15 years old that has been sitting in their living room until I rescued it about a month ago. Here we go.
A minor. So before this point, we learned
We're going to learn A minor today.
And we learned A major, but now we're going to learn that sad version of A, which is
the
A
sad
minor.
version of A.
The cool thing about A minor, and this
sad
happens
A minor.
more and more as we progress with guitar, is if you know A minor, then you know E major. And the reason for that is an A minor chord, which we'll zoom in and I'll show you, but the A minor chord, which is this little fingering here.
It does sound a lot like
if I took that exact fingering, for instance, if I took some liquid nitrogen and froze it.
That's something he likes to say, is whenever you find the right, like, finger shape is what he calls it. Like, freeze it and then, like, take your hand off of it so that you remember how to do it.
Guitar teacher would have first taught me, as opposed to having fun. That's the motivation.
Whoops. Uh-oh. Oh, I accidentally started it over. That's okay.
When I was there myself. So in this video, we've already learned. In this video, we're going to add the C major chord, the C chord.
Oh no, I skipped.
It's a little more stretch for your fingers, but we've
No.
already kind of been...
We're not there yet, Marty. We still want to do 5 A minor. Lesson 5, which is A minor. And E major.
That actually makes you progress even more on guitar. So up to this point, we've learned an E minor chord and an A suspended 2 chord. Then we took that chord and we made it an
that's
A
right.
major
A
chord.
sus 2 means
So
A
that's,
suspended
a few
2.
in our back pocket there. And then we learned the G chord, which is a hugely popular chord. And then we learned the D chord, which is like the most popular chord. And they all sound good in different combinations of each other. They sound great. So we got that
I'm
D
learning
chord.
today that I'm going to have to trim my fingernails. They're not that long, but I'm going to have to trim them anyway.
So before this point, we learned A sus2,
at least for this left hand
and we learned
on
A
the frets.
major. But now we're going to learn that sad version of A, which is A minor. The cool thing about A minor, this happens more and more as we progress with guitar, is if you know A minor,
my doggy is my guitar
then
buddy.
you know E major.
He likes to be in here when I'm playing.
And the reason for that is an A minor chord, which we'll zoom in and I'll show you, but the A minor chord, which is this little fingering here. If I took that exact fingering, for instance, if I took some liquid nitrogen and froze it there, froze the shape. If I just moved it up, each finger up a string this way, it's a completely different chord. So the shape looks exactly the same, but because they're on different strings, now it's a completely different
When we started,
chord.
this was E minor.
Unrelated to A minor. It sounds good with A minor, but it's a whole new chord. So we're killing 2 birds with 1 stone by learning this next
Why do you
shape.
have to kill birds?
And with the E major chord, one that's like the blues chord.
Ooh. Yeah. Ooh. He's showing
And
off.
it's a
I want
rock
to do
and roll
that.
chord.
Oh, sorry. I got carried away.
So it's heavily versatile. And the A minor chord, which you heard in the intro,
Which we're learning today. You're going to teach
all
me
chords that you know already.
A minor.
Or I mean, the list goes on and on, honestly. But let's zoom in, though. We're going to learn A minor.
A minor.
And we're going to
Now
learn
we're
E
gonna zoom
major
in.
because they're the
You've
exact
got to
same
pay
shape with the fingers.
close attention here.
Be sure to keep
A
track
minor.
of the links of the videos that will come after this and the videos in the series that come before this, and make sure that there's links for you to check back.
Yeah, the ones
on,
right
like
after
how to
this
tune
are
your
shorter.
guitar, all that
Like
stuff.
they get shorter as he goes on.
But thanks
This
for the
playlist
support,
is
and
like
let's zoom in and
beginner
learn
acoustic
these
guitar.
2 new chords with 1 shape. Here we go. All right. right, so in previous lessons, we've learned the A major chord,
That was
also known as just saying A. But now we're going to play A minor. We're going to learn it. And it's, another very valuable chord in all the songs.
that was A major.
Almost all the songs. So
We went A minor.
we're going to take our middle finger and we're going to put it on the second fret
Middle finger,
of the D string.
second fret of the Eddie 8
We're going
diamond.
to take our ring finger and put it on the second fret of the G string.
Ring finger, second fret of the G string.
And then the index finger is going to go on the first fret of the B string. And then to really top it off, we get the open A string in there. And the high E should be ringing out
I
too.
did it wrong. Yeah, I'm not caught up. I'm going to have to catch up with...
A little Tenacious
I'm
D
going to have
for
to
you.
rewind him.
Led Zeppelin. We're going to take our ring finger and put it on the second songs.
Okay,
Almost all the songs.
I'm catching up now.
So
I'm trying to catch
we're
up.
going to take our middle finger and we're going to put it on the second fret
Middle finger,
of the D string.
Eddie 8.
We're going to take our ring finger and put it on the second fret of the G string.
Ring finger.
And then the index finger is going to
The
go
index
on the
finger.
first fret
On the
of
first
the
fret.
B string.
Ooh, that's
and then to really
hard.
top it off, we get the open A string.
Oh,
in
there it is.
And the high E should be ringing out too.
Where are we putting the E?
There's a little Tenacious D for you. Led Zeppelin. Tom Petty. Beatles.
I can't move my hand through the different chords that quickly. I guess this is to inspire me to keep trying.
And a million more. So, once again, second fret on the D, second fret on the G, and first fret on the B. And you have the A minor chord. Very valuable. Don't forget that
A
you can
minor.
keep the shape, take your hand off, put it back on to help that muscle memory. Don't forget that, when you're not paying attention to the guitar, like if you're watching a sports game
Ooh.
or focused on a movie or something else, you can sit with a guitar and just do a little programming. You're not even thinking about it. You're just going through the shapes and you're doing all that stuff.
Oh no.
Okay, so we just learned A minor. And the cool thing now that we're starting to learn some chords, almost all of them, by the way, that we need to start with. The coolest thing about this now is that we can take this exact shape and move every finger up one string that way,
Okay.
up that way.
And then
And
this
now we have a
is...
completely different chord. It's called E major. So remember, the very first chord we learned was E minor. But now we're taking the same shape that we learned as A minor and scooting it up a string. So it'd be second fret A with the middle, second fret D with the ring, first fret G with the index, strum the whole guitar. And now we have the beautiful E major chord. Now, the A minor chord and the E major chord, they're completely different chords. But what they do share is the same just shape, the same hand shape, but they're completely different. And they're used in different ways and in different chord progressions. So I showed you some really quick examples of A minor in chord progressions. But now let me show you E major. So one thing is E is real common in the blues. Like a Rolling Stones kind of thing. Like that. You know, a million more songs.
Let's see if I can remember. So we did A minor first and then E major. Cause like, so A minor was middle finger, second fret of the D string. And then ring finger. So this was
So we just learned 2 chords with one shape, completely different chords, and remember them because we're going to add them into lots of songs. A minor, and the exact same shape of a string is E major.
A minor.
So at this point you should know E minor,
Whoopsie.
A sus2, G major, A major, and D major.
This is A minor.
We have A minor and E major now.
Everything was bad. Everything was bad. Everything was sad on the A minor chord.
And there's more to review, so stick with that A minor.
But everything was
major,
cool. Everything was cool. Everything was just a little
And,
cooler on the E major chord.
All right, as hopefully you're figuring out, it's not a magic trick.
It feels like a magic trick.
Because I remember watching people play guitar before I
It
played,
feels like a
and
magic
it
trick.
seemed like a magic trick. So
It is
we're,
a magic trick.
You know, we're pulling back the veil, so to speak.
I'm starting to
thanks
get
for hanging
a teeny
out.
little bit of a callus on my
Also,
index
you know,
finger.
please subscribe to this
Teeny
channel.
little
There's tons of videos and tons more coming. And hopefully you're enjoying this little series here as a beginner.
Yeah. Let's see if I can remember.
Everyone was a beginner at one
Okay.
point, remember that.
A minor.
And also be sure to check the links
A minor.
for the other videos in the
Dynamite.
series, so you make sure you're following them along at the right order. And a couple more shapes, really only a few more. And you've got everything you need for the whole first
Everything was
leg
just a
of
little
these songs,
sad on the
which I have a lot of
A
links,
minor
a
chord.
lot of lessons for already on this
And
channel.
then we move it one
So
string
anyway,
up.
hope to see you there. And until then, take care.
Okay, so we just did lesson 5, where I learned A minor and E major. Let's see if I can remember the other stuff I learned. So I learned, oh geez, E minor, which is the that, and then A sus2, and then A major, and then this was, what was this? Oh, that was not it. What chord was this? What chord was this? This was G major. And then this was D. And then this was, okay, and now today we learned A minor, which was a dynamite. Goodbye, Eddie. Everything was sad. Everything was sad. Everything was just a little sad on the A minor chord. And then we moved it all up one string, and it was everything was just a little less sad, but still pensive. I can't believe I remember these. How do I remember these? I don't know. Although I have to say, so far, my favorite chord progression is gotta be 2. Let's see if I can remember. It's hard for me to switch between that one, but I really like the way it sounds. Let's see, I'm going to practice the ones I learned again today, or else I'm going to forget them. So we've got A minor chord, which was Eddie, A, dynamite, good. No, it was dynamite, goodbye, Eddie. What does that sound like when I do the Metallica thing? It sounds very similar, actually. But not quite the same. Okay. So that was A minor, and then E major was when we moved everything just up a string. I am so happy that I'm remembering things. Next up, if I continue like watching the videos in sequence, then I'll learn the C major chord, F major chord, and D minor. And that will be all 8 videos in Marty Music's beginner acoustic guitar, your very first guitar playlist. And this has been really cool. It actually like has made me, I don't know, feel like it's approachable. Like it's approachable. It's not, like it's still hard, but it's not completely unapproachable. So thanks for joining me. Bye.